Hi, Royal Loyals. This is Shequita from Crown Me Quita, and today I bring you another episode of Shequita Speaks. But first, I'd like to welcome you back to my channel. This video is a compilation of several small videos that I posted on TikTok in regards to human trafficking and kidnapping, and I also wanted to share them here in an effort to raise more awareness. But first, let's get into this intro. So I just wanted to get up here and spread some awareness. As we all know, 'tis the season to be jolly. However, it is also the time of year where human trafficking and kidnapping is at an all-time high. While the hustle and bustle and busyness of the holiday season and Christmas shopping can cause us to let our guards down, I want to remind you to be aware of your surroundings. Kidnapping, human trafficking, sex trafficking, they are all very real. And because of increased traffic, this is a time of year when the number of kidnappings skyrocket. Random acts of kindness can be distractions. So ladies, shop in groups if you can. Do what you have to do in the daytime rather than at night. Pay attention to where you're parking. Do not park next to big vehicles with tinted windows. If someone's trying to sell something to you in the parking lot on the way to your car, avoid them. Don't stop. This might seem rude, but believe me, they're studying the things that we would fall for. Move through parking lots quickly. When you get into your car, lock the doors immediately. If someone knocks on your window, do not roll down the window. Do not stop and talk to anyone while you're in the parking lot. The use of children and elderly people are a decoy because they know that women have a soft spot for this. Stopping you to try to tell you that you dropped your receipt is another trick that they use. Putting money into your door handle. Placing any type of item on your windshield under your wiper or on your hood. Throwing eggs on your windshield is another one. And if this happens, do not turn on the windshield wipers or use windshield wiper fluids because it will create a chemical and you'll have to pull over and wipe it off, and that's a part of the plan. Take different routes. Don't always go the same way when you go home. If you feel like someone is following you, do not go home. Go to the nearest police department. Make your children aware, and please don't let them walk to and from the bus stop alone. Invest in some pepper spray and stay prayed. If you return to your car and find that there is something on your windshield, drive to the nearest police department and remove it there because there could be a tracking device in this item. Be vigilant and watchful and aware of what your children are doing on social media and what they're posting, because kidnappers prey on their victims through social media. They study their habits and they devise a plan accordingly. Just be aware of distractions and go with that gut feeling. When something don't seem right, it ain't right. Some of you might think I'm over exaggerating, but this is real. I play no games when it comes down to the protection of myself and my children and my family. Above all, I trust God to protect us, and I stay prayed up. And with all this being said, it leads into my next story. So my children and I went to the local Food Lion to pick up bottled waters for our house. My daughter and I went in, my son stayed in the car. Now, we are already aware that human trafficking and sex trafficking and kidnapping are at an all-time high, so we're moving quickly through the parking lot on our way out. But as we come out, we notice that there are two suspicious cars parked side by side, and when they see us get out, one man hops out of one of the vehicles and hops into the car with the man in the vehicle that was parked next to him. And they just began to stare at me and my daughter as we walked to our car. Little did they know that my son was in the car. Now at this time he's 17. He's not a little guy. He's muscular. And he steps out of the car and stands guard while I put the waters in the car and watches me while I returns the cart. Meanwhile, my daughter's saying, "Hurry up, mommy, hurry up." And I'm telling her to get her butt in the car. So we all quickly get back into the car and I immediately lock the door. While we're driving home, my daughter tells me, "Mama, when we first pulled up, I saw those cars and I had an uneasy feeling." Pause. Those uneasy feelings that we get, we attribute that to the Holy Spirit telling us that something's not right. Okay, back to the story. So then my son proceeds to say, "Yeah, Mom, I saw them staring at y'all as soon as y'all came out, and I felt something didn't feel right to me. That's why I got out and watched you while you put the water in the trunk and took the cart back to the cart thingy." So I immediately called Food Lion and told them about the suspicious activity that I saw in their parking lot, because my concern was the females who worked there who had to then walk to their car alone in order to go home, or other female shoppers coming out of the store who might be at risk. And so the manager had somebody check the situation out. So when you see something like that, report it because it could save a life. And pay attention to the feelings that you get, the uneasy feelings that you get. Also be aware while you're shopping in the store. Kidnappers have become so bold that they will snatch up your child from your side in the store. So hold your child's hand. Keep an eye on them, especially if they're young children. Like my teenage daughter don't even feel comfortable going on another aisle without me. So if you have like preteens, 7, 6, 5, like hold their hands, be watchful. Like this might seem dramatic, but I have seen so many videos surface of people trying to kidnap children right from their mother's side in stores in the broad daylight. We live in a fallen world. Stay prayed up, guys. So I recently created a video series warning people about the dangers of human trafficking and kidnapping. And I wanted to thank the person who left this comment under one of my videos because it helped me to realize that I may have unconsciously only been referring to women and young girls. With that being said, young men, teenagers, males that look super vulnerable, please be advised. You are not exempt from this information. You too can be kidnapped and human trafficked, and everything I stated in all of those previous videos also applies to you. Be safe and aware and stay alert. I even had a young boy comment under one of my videos saying, "Well, thank God I'm a boy." And I was like, "Oh Lord, I need to make sure that males know that this can also happen to them." Thank you so much for posting that comment, and guys, be safe. This is part 7 of raising awareness for human trafficking and kidnapping. Some of the other tactics that these kidnappers use are as follows. They will pretend that they are trying to sell body oils in the parking lots of busy stores like Walmart, and they'll attempt to put it on your wrist so that you can smell it as a sample before you purchase. But these oils are believed to have something in them that will cause you to become drowsy. And by this time, they already know where you parked, and there are other people waiting by your car when you get there to finish the job. They will lay down in the middle of the road and pretend to be hurt so that when you're driving, you will stop and get out and check on them. And then they will proceed to snatch you up. In most cases, they work in groups, and there's always somebody waiting to help finish. One other tactic that they use when they're working together is that when you're walking to your car alone, one individual will attempt to distract you with meaningless conversation, while another will creep up and sneak into your car through the back passenger door. Once you get in, they hold you at gunpoint or knife point or whatever and force you to drive wherever they want you to go. So again, I say when you're walking to your car alone, do not stop and talk to anyone, and do not press the unlock button until you are ready to enter your car. And once you enter the car, lock the door immediately. One of the tactics that they use on women who they know stay alone, I guess because they've been watching them, they will use the sounds of a crying baby and put it near your windows, assuming that you will be concerned and come and open the door, and then they will pounce. So the police station was even warning about this one at some point in time. And their advice was to never open the door and always call the police. They are on social media pretending to be younger than what they are, luring our young girls in to meet them in a public place and then kidnapping them. I've even heard that they're going as far as going on college campuses and pretending to be church volunteers, setting up a table for you to sign up for transportation. And then when they show up on Sunday morning to pick you up from church, you voluntarily get into their van thinking that you are headed to church, but really you are being kidnapped without a fight. I saw an interview of a lady who had escaped the sex trafficking ring, and she would pose as a college student. She would sign up for classes, she would join sororities, and she would gain the trust of other girls and then report to her leader who the next target could be. I also read the story of a couple who almost became a victim. They were targeted in a bar. They were out for the night, getting drinks, hanging out, left their children with a babysitter, and another couple, male and female, approached them. This couple was asking questions, personal questions, like how many children do they have? Are their children healthy? Have they ever been in any accident? The type of questions that were strategically meant to gain information. The woman proceeded to say that she saw the man slip a date rape drug into her husband's drink, and she assumed that the woman was going to do the same to her. She got her husband's attention and they left immediately. Now I know you're thinking, that's too much. Who would do all of that? But what you have to understand is that this is a kidnapper's livelihood. This is how they make their living. So they are very strategic in how they plan in doing this. Kidnappers are getting bolder and more strategic, and sometimes they're very desperate. I've even heard that they will hide underneath your car, and once you are about to get in, they will slice your Achilles, making you easier to capture because you can't run. I don't know how true this particular one is, but every time I hear anything about human trafficking or kidnapping, I share to raise awareness. And quite frankly, if it's not true, what harm can it hurt in me sharing it if it's going to help save somebody's life in the event that it is true? So I'm going to keep sharing and I'm going to keep raising awareness and I'm going to keep encouraging other people to do the same. Y'all, it's a crazy world we live in. Ooh, but I thank God for his protection every day. And I thank God for a relationship with him and for a spirit of discernment because I can feel it in my spirit when something is not right. So what are some of the things that we can do to avoid becoming an easy target or if we have become a victim to kidnapping? Scream, bite, kick, and cause the biggest scene that you possibly can because what they don't want is for you to draw attention to what they're doing. As I said before, invest in pepper spray or a taser, get a license to carry. Invest in one of these cool innovations that are on the market for women to protect themselves. Keep your keys in defense mode when you're walking to your car. And what do I mean by that? Hold them like this so that they can become a weapon if need be. Because if they run up, they're going to get done up. For the ladies who live alone, place a pair of steel-toe work boots outside of your door to send the message that you're not alone. Just leave signs to show that you are armed and ready for intruders. However that may look for you, whatever you come up with. If you find that you have been kidnapped and placed in the trunk of a car, and Lord, I forbid that this happen, but me sharing this just may help somebody. Try to kick out one of the tail lights and stick your arm through the tail light and wave it around. Somebody will see that and they will call the police. Or even look for the trunk latch. A lot of these newer cars have trunk latches on the inside and it will open the trunk from the inside. Open that trunk latch and try to hop out if you can. If not, somebody will see that you are in the trunk of a car at the very least. That's not normal. If you have an iPhone and you have it on you, share your location indefinitely with your spouse, your siblings, your parents, and what it will do is send a GPS tracker of where you are via text message to that person. Do not share too much information on your social media platforms. Don't share things like what high school you go to, what city you live in, where you work, what time you are supposed to go to work and get off of work. What I find is that so many people post their every move on social media and it makes you an easy target for anybody who may be stalking you or looking at you as their next victim. If you have teenagers, please make them aware of that. And check their social media platforms, check their text messages, go through their Instagram DMs, whatever you got to do, because I do it. Keep the locations turned off on your social media posts. If you're posting pictures that you may have taken at your house or in your yard, make sure you edit out street names, house numbers, and anything that could give away where you live. And I'd even like to encourage young boys, teenage boys, to not let their guards down either, because organ harvesting is also real. And what this is the illegal sale of organs. So the criminals that do this, they kidnap whomever, male or female, in order to take their organs from their bodies and sell them. I'm not sharing all of this to scare anybody. I just want to raise as much awareness as I possibly can. I have children, and I would want someone to share these things with me. But what I cannot stress enough is that a relationship with Jesus is the best thing that we can have in the times that we're living in. His protection is literally the best protection. As a follower of Christ, yes, I still walk in wisdom, but I do not live in fear because I know who my protector is. So I wanted to get up here and share another warning for what kidnappers and human traffickers are doing. And I know I've been talking about this a lot lately, but if it can help save a life, I'm all for it. So it's been brought to my attention that they are labeling cars. What do I mean by this? If it's a woman and her two kids, they'll key into the car or scratch into the paint somehow 1F2K, meaning one female, two kids. They really don't care if the kids are male or female. Whether you are male or female and you're watching this, beware. In my opinion, this is some sort of indication that they have been watching you and they've devised a plan of some sort. Perhaps it's to warn whoever they are partnering with to get the job done, how many people they're going to try to abduct. I don't really know their reason for doing this. I'm just guessing. At any rate, examine your car often, and if you find that this has been done to your car, go to the police. And more than anything, spread the word. I'm back with more awareness against human trafficking and kidnapping. Today, let's talk about fake websites designed to lure people in. They're posing as agencies seeking to help actors and models fill a role. And since so many people want instant fame, this one is scary. So they've become crafty and they'll be upfront and let you know that you'll have to be involved in a sex scene. They'll even ask for nude pictures to make sure you fit the role. Ultimately, what they're trying to do is check you out to see if you are actually somebody they can put to work. They'll even go as far as create a contract in order to legally bind you so that they won't get in trouble if they're caught. The contract may go as far as saying that you'll have to take part in live sex scenes and sexual manifestation. They're trying to cover their tracks, y'all. Moral of the story, do the research on these agencies that you're seeking to get a role through. Find out what other work they've done. Don't just trust people. If they're asking for nudes, I want to circle back to social media. If you run a business and you use social media as a platform, beware. For example, if you do hair and a client reaches out to you who you don't know, you've never met a day in your life, and you have no mutual connections with this person, do not go to them to do their hair. Furthermore, do not invite them to your home when you're alone to do their hair. I recently saw a post on social media that was circulating about a young girl who was missing. She does hair and she was using social media as a platform. Well, a client that she'd never met before reached out to her to see if she could come to them to do their hair. And she did, and she was not seen again. So kidnappers like to create scenarios where you will come to them. Even be careful with online dating. They'll pose as an attractive person and want to meet up somewhere and kidnap you. Don't trust everybody that slide in your DMs. So this is a story of how God kept me that one time I almost got kidnapped. And I'm going to try to keep it quick because I only have 60 seconds. So I was about 10 years old and my aunt sent me to the corner store to pick up something that she really needed. Times were innocent then. You could send kids to the corner store by themselves, or at least I thought. It's nothing like that now. Please don't do that. Be advised. So as I was exiting the corner store, a man who he was in his late 20s approached me and asked me, did I want some ice cream? Well, what kid doesn't want ice cream? So my immediate response was, of course, sure. So I'm thinking he's going to walk me back in the store and buy me ice cream. No, red flag. He wants to take me to the ice cream lady. Why? Because she has more flavors and it's cheaper. So my innocent tail, I'm like, okay, thinking that the ice cream lady is close. Well, he takes me around a corner and you're going to have to stay tuned for part 2 because I'm running out of time. So part 2 of the testimony of how God kept me when I almost got kidnapped as a kid. So the man is taking me down this dark alley to the ice cream lady. And I realize that we're getting further and further away from people. So I start getting worried and I'm asking him questions like, how much further? Where does the ice cream lady live? When are we going to get there? And he keeps saying things like, don't worry, we're almost there. You're going to love it. Just things to keep reeling me in. It remind you I'm 10, so I'm just excited about getting ice cream. Well, I finally felt so uneasy, and I was smart enough to stay about 4 feet behind him. And I started to feel so uncomfortable. As I look back on it, it was dark. He was taking me further and further away from people so that nobody would have been able to hear me scream. And I finally just got to a point where I was like, forget it, I don't want this ice cream. And I took off running back the way that I came. And you're going to have to stay tuned for part 3 because I'm running out of time. Again. So as I reflect on this now that I'm an adult and I see how serious kidnapping, sex trafficking, and human trafficking has become. It helps me to realize that, like, this really isn't new, but now they're just getting really bold. And I look back and I'm like, wow, God really kept me. And that's a testimony. One of many. Like, guys, I don't know what that man would have done to me, but something in me felt uneasy. And when we say something told me, something in me, that is God. It's always God. And he's giving you that uneasy feeling to warn you. And I thank God, because I can't believe it. Like, I look at times now, and for sure I know he was going to kidnap me. What do you guys think? I mean, glory to God. And let me tell you something. This is exactly why I don't play about my kids. I don't play about mine. Run up, get done up. And I mean that in the most respectful way possible. God made me their mother for a reason, to protect them. He's their protector in heaven, but I'm their protector on earth, me and their father. And I don't play about mine. I'm saved, and he's still saving me. And he knows that the one area where I really need him is when I become Mama Bear. Don't play with mine. I'm just saying. Because I mess around and sick Jesus on you. I don't even play about my nieces and nephews. Try it if you want to. I know this was a difficult topic, but thank you so much for stopping by and watching anyway. If you have any additional helpful tips, please add them in the comments. And also, please help raise awareness by liking this video and sharing it with anyone who you think may benefit from this information. Until next time, adjust your crowns, because royalty looks good on you. I'll see you in the next video. Happy YouTubing.